Guys, let's talk about GPT-5. I think that it was interesting to me, as it was maybe interesting to all of you who have noticed the changes that we felt when GPT-5 came out. And here's what I mean. Let's back it up pre-GPT-5 announcement. Hype was building. Everybody's been expecting this model for a long time. The expectations were arguably set a little bit too high, probably for what it was going to deliver. But everybody was expecting a giant leap forward. After all, GPT-4 basically came out in March of 23, the first version, and then we obviously have had iterations on that, GPT 4.0, etc., etc. But it's been since really June, July of last year since we had that kind of big leap forward. And yes, they've introduced O3 and O1 and O4 Mini and all those models that many of you probably don't even have a good understanding or concept of what they do or what the difference is. And so the goal, as was portrayed in the media leading up to this, was that this was going to be both a revolutionary leap, but also something that would simplify it for the majority of their now 700 million-ish weekly active users of ChatGPT, many of which who have no idea that there are different models, what these models do, that they can switch between them, that some of them require a paid plan, that some think or don't think, that some are better than others or answer differently than others. They just don't know because, well, they're not obsessed, geeky weirdos like me, right? Or maybe some of you who are watching this video. And so, like everybody else, I was excited for the release of GPT-5. What are the new capabilities going to be? What's it going to do? All that kind of stuff. And then we watched the live, demo, and it was kind of a stinker. And they talked about the improved processes of coding and some better benchmarks and messed up some graphics that were widely reported and on, right? But ultimately, there was nothing really groundbreaking. And I don't think that I was honestly expecting that. But the expectation, even for us who follow this AI stuff regularly, was this is going to be there's going to be something, right, that we don't know, that we haven't seen. It's going to involve multimodal. It's going to be able to generate videos, do audio, a better image generator, just something because after we witnessed, at least those of us who follow this stuff, after we witnessed Google I/O back in, I think, May, and they just blew it out of the water with one announcement right after another, and they introduced VO3 and it could generate video and had audio, and everybody was just expecting OpenAI to do something, and they did basically nothing except say it can code better and maybe it can write better, and then they didn't stop there. Then they just launched the thing and they were for all you people who know how to switch models, we're just going to take that ability away from you and just give you GPT-5. And so in the days that followed, they took away GPT 4.0 and O4 Mini and O3 and O1 and O3 Pro for those of us who paid for it, and everything else. And we're left with GPT 5, which we think is going to be a better model, but turns out I don't know, all kinds of complex things. It's been a PR disaster. It is routing to a better model. It's not routing to a better model. Who knows? Either way, there's been some kind of PR, I don't know, attempt to salvage the reputation of what's going on. Maybe some of it's true, maybe it's not. Sam's coming out and saying, the router was broken to go to the model and we're going to make it smarter now, and who knows what the real truth is, right? But what we do know for fact is that it kind of sucks on chatgpt.com. Now, you can make it think. You can, if you're on a paid plan, I think you can, well, I know I'm on a $200 a month plan. I think you can do this on the $20 a month plan too. If you can go to the model picker, which is supposedly the whole reason they introduced this thing, to avoid a model picker, and you could choose GPT-5 thinking, which will always make it think. And it is, to me, maybe a little bit better than an O3 was. It appears to hallucinate a little bit less, but it's not a giant leap up, right? And then you can do GPT-5 Pro, I think with a certain number of use cases, maybe on the $20 a month, but for sure in the $200 a month. And that replaces the O3 Pro, which just thinks a little bit longer and deeper. But there's not a huge leap here, guys. And I think part of the problem is the expectation that everybody has, right? almost everybody I talk to, who I introduce AI to, who I say, what does AI mean to you, is ChatGPT, is a chatbot. And guys, like, a chatbot is about 1%, maybe 5%, given the number of people who consider that AI and use it, is let's just call it 5% of what AI actually is. And if you're expecting these leaps and bounds in what a chatbot can do from GPT-4 to 4.0 to 5, we're about at the tippy top point. And that doesn't mean it can't improve. Of course it can. It can do better math, it can do better coding, it can do all kinds of things. But the amount of people who are able to discern and notice the difference between these models is shrinking really fast, right? And if you're only looking for updates in that form, if you're only looking for improvements in a chatbot, you're going to be disappointed from here on out, because the AI is already smarter than me, it's smarter than you, it's smarter than Elon, it's smarter than everybody, right? It just is. It is. So where we're going now, and have been going in behind the scenes, forget about this chatbot nonsense, is agents, is building tools, is getting AI chat and AI call agents and AI digital workers who can perform multiple tasks, like collaborating together and writing social media posts or blog posts or interacting with CRMs or reading your email or composing responses, or right, all that stuff is available on the back end. You can now connect Gmail and your Google Calendar to ChatGPT. The same thing with HubSpot. You can do those connections on platforms like XAI and Claude and Gemini, and the tools are different and the way they interact is different. But this is what's going to be the level up, is the ability for these agents, already at the near peak of where they can be smart in ChatGPT, and they're going to be able to take this stuff and level up what you can actually accomplish in a one shot, do this task way through browser extensions or voice or something else, and then they're really going to start to unlock the potential, already have, but are really going to continue the potential to be truly game changing. And those of you who can take advantage of that, those of you who can understand that, those of you who know that AI is more than chatbots, still have so much to be impressed by. And it is moving so fast in biology and medicine and science and physics and video generation and image generation and agentic capabilities and operating tools, and eventually already being put into robots, but everywhere, right? And this stuff is going to blow your mind, and it's going to change society. And you've heard me talk about it before. Like, when you hear me talk about AI is going to change society, I'm not talking about a chatbot changing society, guys. So I think we need to reset our expectations, but we also need to give credit where credit is due. And Sam Altman kind of fucked up really bad and tried to, we think, generally, in the opinion of most of the industry, is save a bunch of money by routing chats to cheaper models, because most of his 700 million users wouldn't notice. And to be honest, like, maybe that's the same call I would have made as a CEO. But he didn't account for the PR backlash. He didn't think about the people who were using this heavily. He didn't think about a variety of different things, right? So I think it's a combination of chatbots are at their ceiling, OpenAI needs to save costs, they need to scale. The way to do that is to not charge consumers more money. The way to do that is to go after the enterprise. GPT-5 is more powerful, it is more beneficial, it is a step up, but like, if you're not using it through the API and you're not controlling how you use it, how it thinks, how long it thinks, what you're doing with it, putting it into an agent, you're not going to notice much difference with it at all. So reset your expectations, figure out that AI is way more than chatbots, and it's going to be a pretty cool future ahead for all of us as we ride this ride. But don't think that it's peaked just because your chatbot can't do more creative writing or better than it could a few weeks ago. See ya.